Well, it's going to be another energy election because you've got the transmission line argument on the one side. We saw the renewable protests here at Parliament with the farmers and others here. So, yep, we're going to have another election where this is an issue. But I've got to say, Michael, that and looking at Dunkley at the weekend, I want to get your thoughts on Dunkley. You and I, we haven't spoken, we haven't had you on since the by-election. But what's your overall read on it? To me, everything out of it just says it doesn't change our view that this is a cost of living year and a cost of living cycle that this government is facing heading into the election either late this year or March, April next year.
I think that's absolutely right. I put it down as a narrow points win to Dutton because he got closer to 4 than 3%. I thought it'd be between 3 and 4%, even though some of our people got a bit excited. But I thought that's what it would be. It was that, closer to 4. So a slight win to Dutton, but yeah, this is all about economics. This is all about cost of living. This is all about people who cannot pay their mortgages. And the fundamental objective that the federal opposition should be pursuing is how we're going to make people's lives easier from an economic point of view. And once you transition to a debate onto taxes and the economy, history tells you it's the coalition's number one brand equity. And that's where the overwhelming majority of its efforts should be directed, because that's a vote winner for it, and it's a vote loser for Labor. And as I said the other day, don't forget, 6.5% to Labor in Aston 11 months ago is now 3.5% or a bit more to the opposition now. So in 11 months, Victoria's turned around 10% on a 2PP basis. That cannot be ignored. The wind is blowing against Albo down here.
It's blowing against them. The Liberals have got a bit of a swing, but Labor's primary vote was also up, Stephen. We were talking about this at length on Saturday night. You've got a few days now since to crunch the numbers. What's your assessment?
Yeah, look, Michael's a magnificent servant of the Liberal Party. He's putting, he's got the full lipstick out and he's painting that pig. This was not a good result for Peter Dutton. This was the pathway to victory. When Peter Dutton couldn't win an outer suburban seat with 12 interest rate rises, an argument about a tax on utes, refugees turning up, and an arrest of one of the detainees released by the High Court in the middle of it all. I mean, it doesn't get a more toxic moment for Labor to have to face a by-election. So what that result showed was there is no pathway for Peter Dutton to become Prime Minister by dumping the teal seats, saying forget them, we don't want their voters, and thinking he can win all these other seats. I mean, Michael's been great with the numbers there. The truth is that those circumstances won't be replicated in, whether it's December or March, as you described it, Kieran. You will have had a couple of interest rate cuts unless the Reserve Bank continue. Well, to be fair, they could continue to be the morons they've been. They went late, they pushed too far, they put too many interest rate rises in October and November, and they should be actually reducing interest rates next month or the month after, and then a couple more times before the end of the year. So those economic circumstances, coupled with a fantastic job that Jim Chalmers will do in delivering the second surplus, we'll see the economic tailwinds right behind Labor.
Yes, and Jim Chalmers, obviously, seen as the heir apparent. Big year for him in terms of delivering that. I know Michael's not the biggest fan, but anyway. Michael, Stephen, we will talk next week. Appreciate it, as always. Thanks.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.